Budweiser Duel qualifying race here at Daytona, and that is Matt Kenseth. He drove the number 20 Dollar General Toyota to victory lane for Joe Gibbs Racing. He's joined by his crew chief Jason Ratcliffe and race team president J.D. Gibbs. Matt, congratulations on the win. It was a heck of a finish there, 3 wide, and maybe just talk about how you thought things unfolded and how you think things are shaping up for Sunday's running of the Daytona 500.
Yeah, I mean, obviously the race ended up unfolding great for us, so I felt like we learned a lot throughout the race. I had the car in some positions that I wouldn't want to be in again if I had to do it over, and then I was able to make some moves and got to the front of that bottom line and was able to make it work and get up to second behind Junior there for a long time, and ultimately take the lead. And then Jason had a great call and a great pit stop and exchange and all that, and was able to hold the lead. And then, you know, at the end I saw Kevin making that move, and it's just you weren't going to be able to block it without wrecking. So I just you know, tried to get back to him, and thankfully had enough time to get that run to the finish line.
Okay, also Jason Ratcliffe up here as the crew chief. Jason, just talk about this number 20 race car. You guys kind of picking up where you left off last year with a lot of wins, getting to victory lane a lot.
Yeah, it's a good way to start the season. You know, this race is always good for several things, but one for us would be, you know, to have a fast car means you know, we have a pretty good setup to work with for Sunday's event. And I was really excited about the way the pit crew performed tonight. You know, getting on and off pit road, the gas man getting his job done. We got so far out there. I mean, thankfully Michael was there and gave us a little boost until the pack caught us. So we got so far out there. I'm like, man, I don't know what happened here, but it was a good night for us all around. Everybody performed well. The car ran well, obviously. TRD's done a great job this winter. Working on the horsepower, and it showed. So good night, and hopefully we can take this into Sunday's event.
J.D. Gibbs, just talk about this number 20 race team and the success that they had here. And certainly it's been a pretty good weekend so far for Joe Gibbs Racing, pretty good speed weeks.
Yeah, it's a good start to the week, you know, and the key, it's been so long since we won the 500. I think it was 93. So we're due a few, so hopefully we can get that accomplished. But we just have a great team. You know, Matt and Jason, the whole team just kind of gets it, and they're just hard workers, and they're really fun to be with.
Questions now for these three. We'll take as many as we can. Let's start with Nate. We'll go to Tom, and then over here to Al. Nate, Tom, and Al.
Nate Ryan, USA Today Sports. Matt, you were
Hey, Nate. I didn't know you're here this week. It's great to see you.
Gee, thanks.
I like that shirt, too. The green looks good on you.
All right. I wore it just for you.
All right, go ahead. The race is going to start.
All right. Goes good with yellow. You were saying in here earlier that nobody wanted to be around you. You were kind of kidding about practice, the way things had gone. And
I was only half kidding.
All right. that's kind of what I'm getting at. And then you said after you got out of the car just now, after winning, you said that it almost felt bad to walk in the garage. How redemptive, I guess, what was this win to get? I mean, did you feel like you needed to kind of prove something here?
Well, I don't know about prove anything, but you know, certainly whenever there's an incident and it's your fault or your mistake, you know, like what we had Saturday, you know, I feel bad about wrecking any cars. I used to have to fix my own cars and pay for my own cars, so I hate wrecking cars. I hate putting extra work on the crew, and I hate making JD pay for it, and not to mention all the other cars. So walking in the garage, honestly, the last, like today, I was kind of embarrassed walking in the garage. I feel like they're probably not, or maybe some of them are, but I feel like they're kind of looking at you cross-eyed when you're walking by and all that kind of stuff. So certainly it felt good to get, you know, the last 2 days haven't been great. Even yesterday, I didn't feel like we had the speed, and I think I was getting on Jason's nerves, whining about the car. And so anyway, to get the race in today and be able to get it to the front and keep it there and be able to get back and win that thing, certainly I think builds confidence in all of us, and you know, makes us, you know, feel like you can go out and get the job done if everybody does their jobs and we do everything right. So yeah, it definitely built some confidence.
Go to Tom, Al, Hill, and Jenna.
Thanks. Tom Jensen, Fox Sports 1. For either of you guys, any of you guys, are you the favorites now? Denny won the race the other night. You guys win tonight. Is Joe Gibbs the team to beat now?
Again, it's been a long time. We've had some good cars, but it's just really hard to do. It's stuff outside your control has to fall together. So I hope we have a shot, but it's hard to do.
Let's go over here to Al Pierce. You good, Al? Let's go to Hill and then Jenna and then David. Hill, raise your hand. Right here. Hill.
I just missed him. That was why.
Jenna.
I haven't talked to him all week.
Go ahead.
Yeah, Hill Overton, WNDB. Matt, there's been a lot of talk about the cars not handling the same through the tri-oval as before. What do you find from the driver's seat? They seem to be wobbling, a little wiggly, and a little looser over there.
Yeah, not so much that. It just seems like, for whatever reason this week, most of the week through the tri-oval, it just seems like cars have been getting different runs, like bigger runs, especially inside cars. Like Saturday, it surprised me. I didn't expect anybody to be there. And I look back, probably a second or second and a half before that, they were 3/4 of a car length behind me. So it just seems like the momentum is maybe happening at different spots of the racetrack, and you certainly got to pay more attention 100% all the time and double check everything and make decisions quicker. It seems like if you delay that decision and start thinking about it a little bit, by the time you make it, somebody's already there. So it just seems like the runs are maybe happening a little bit faster, and they're happening in different spots than maybe they have, or at least it seems like in years past.
Let's go to Jenna and then David.
Jennifer, AP. Matt, I'm kind of surprised to hear you say you were embarrassed. How much of a role do you think you played in those incidents?
Well, the one on Saturday, I would say, was probably somewhere right around 100% because I drove right over the top of Joey. The one yesterday in practice, I didn't think I really had anything to do with that. I just kind of got tagged from behind and they all piled up, behind me. But still, I would have rather had it be 2 rows behind me instead of be that close.
So is it just because you were in both, you felt people maybe were looking at your cross-eyed?
I don't know. I mean, you always want to do a good job. You always want to have the best reputation as possible. You always want people to trust you on the track and want to be around you and draft with you and feel like one of your cars is strong and that you're going to make the right moves and get to the front. Because if you can do that at these tracks more times than not, you'll get people that want to work with you, and therefore it helps both of your efforts. When you're out there and things aren't going good and maybe people aren't quite as eager to be around you, or maybe try to push you or that type of thing. Yeah, really good. They were just both accidents. Just hate them when they happen.
Go to David, and then we'll go back over here to Mike.
David Carvel, NASCAR.com. Matt, I realize these are shorter races, but did this and Denny's win last week give you guys any kind of real indication of what you have for the 500? And then for JD, I mean, does this Daytona 500 route wear on you guys? Clearly, they're counting the years.
Okay, I'll go first. I forgot what you said. No, I think there's things to be learned. We ran a full fuel run under green, so we got a lot to look at there. We ran more than a fuel run on tires, so we got some stuff to look at there. The biggest difference, I think, is track conditions. Saturday and now with the Thursday race for the first time being at night, depending on what the weather's like Sunday and if the sun's out and that kind of thing, the track could be fairly different. I felt like the track was quite a bit different yesterday in our practice session than what it was tonight. So I'd say that's the biggest difference. You might not, but you might see a little bit more practice than you normally see after the 150s, just because this race was at night instead of during the day.
Yeah, you're really, we won our second year in the motorsports. We feel this is easy. It's a lot harder than it looks, and so that's the last time we had great cars down here. That's the only time we won the 500. So I was changing tires. So maybe you want me to change again?
Whew. Wow, that was a long time ago.
I left a few loose in the last stop. Yeah.
Were you better at that than driving?
I was better at changing tires than I was driving.
Oh, okay.
So it's not saying much.
Let's go to Mike, and then we'll go to Dustin, and then finish with Dave.
Mike Neff from FrontStretch.com. This is for you, Jason.
Hey,
obviously, in qualifying, the Toyotas didn't have the speed that the other cars did, and obviously, coming down here, everything's about going fast. But did you end up sacrificing a little bit of speed to make the car a better handling car so that it could get it done when it was time?
Well, I wish I could say that. No, I mean we gave it everything we had in qualifying. This is the one speedway race in the year that you don't. It's not an impound race. The rest of them are. So it gives you a lot of opportunity to bolt some speed in the car, do some things differently for qualifying. We gave it all we had. It just, we came up. But qualifying was tight. I mean, on the stopwatch, it was pretty tight. A 10th would have been a big gainer for us. But, knowing you have this event on Thursday, and now we're going to line up close to the front, get a good pit stall, doesn't really matter. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Go to Dustin and finish up with Dave Coleman. Go ahead, Dustin.
Dustin Long, MRN.com. Matt, I understand every situation's different, but we've had 2 races now where essentially the guy leading on the last lap went on and won the race. We've heard a lot of talk about the side drafting. So is being in the front more? I mean, is that where you need to be in the last 3-4 laps? Is this a coincidence what we've seen, or is this a little bit more of a pattern?
I think you always want to be in the front. I would always rather be in the front and try to defend my lead than to be somewhere and be at the mercy of how good a run you get or whatever. So he almost had me cleared. I mean, he made a textbook move. I was just able to get there quick enough to get enough of a run, to the start finish line. So and I think there's a lot more opportunity for last lap pass than there was with last year's rule package. It's only been a half-inch of spoiler, but I think it's made a pretty big difference. I can't recall all 4 Speedway races last year. I'd be lying to you if I told you what the finishes were, but I don't recall. I remember the 500 last year, and I got in front. There wasn't anybody that was going to pass us, until we broke. And in my opinion, I didn't think there was any way they were going to get a good enough run to pass us. And then the same thing happened to Jimmy once he took over the lead. So I feel like there's a lot more opportunity for two-lane racing at least, and for some last lap passes. You even saw that Saturday night. I mean, there was only 6 or 7 cars out there then, and they could still make passes. And last year, I don't think that would have happened.
Dave Coleman. Go ahead.
Milwaukee Journal Sentinel. Matt, you mentioned at the start putting yourself in some positions you might not want to do again. Can you expound on them? And is the learning, what you learned tonight, as important as actually winning a race?
Well, both. I'd always take the win and not learn anything if I could, But I think both are important. Just different positions I was in on the track. A couple times that would have always worked before, and I couldn't make them happen tonight for some reason. And there was a couple where I was like, man, I'm not sure about that. And actually had enough cars and was able to make it happen. So it was just a lot different than last February for some reason, which I still think we got a little bit of time to hopefully get our car even a little bit better. And I feel like I learned a fair amount out there as well. So hopefully we'll have a shot, or at least be in the group and have a shot at the end on Sunday.